the miracle doc, they counted me out. Moment of truth, counting it down. Underdog story was down for the count. Back on my feet, back with a mic, back on the beat, back with a family that bang in the streets. The game on lock, I stand with a key. Standing my ground, I am planning to flee. Standing my ground, I am planting my feet. Taking a stand, embracing my destiny, shaking his hand, flipping the script.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition where we're combining two shows, Thursday Night CrossFit Talk with Versus. Doing that this week, maybe the next couple weeks as we go through the open. And then we will get back to regularly scheduled Versus programs and Thursday Night CrossFit being its own thing. But we're almost done with the first week of the open.
Yes.
The Arnold finished up today. You were a part of that. You were a part of 24.1. You've had a busy weekend.
It's been a busy weekend. A lot of driving, a lot of walking around on concrete floors. It's been good though. I mean, it was a whirlwind.
Got to have dinner with a really cool guy and his wife on Saturday night.
I did. It was the best bread pudding I've ever had in my life. Oh my God.
Yeah. My mom makes what I thought was the best bread pudding I've ever had. And it's very different. Like, this was not traditional bread pudding. This was called sticky bun bread pudding. And it was made with croissants as opposed to bread. And a lot of cinnamon and brown sugar, like a sticky bun kind of thing. So it really, I thought it leaned more sticky bun than bread pudding.
I would agree.
Where traditional bread pudding like soaks up the cream into the bread, the croissant doesn't do that as much. So it was more like a sticky bun.
Yeah. I don't know. It was pretty creamy. Yeah.
Yeah, still delicious and still like highly recommend. But it was definitely not what I know is bread pudding, right? Like it came out
and a little scoop of ice cream on the side.
It was
topped it off.
Yeah.
So Rusty Bucket, if any of you are in the area, is it mostly an Ohio thing or is it a Midwest thing? What?
So again, like the story, there's a restaurateur in Columbus named Cameron Mitchell. He owns a lot of restaurants that have expanded to Indianapolis and Pittsburgh. So kind of Midwestish. And they are all very high end, except for one called Cap City Diner, which I took Mark to on Wednesday night.
Nice.
Then his kitchen manager split off on good terms to open his own high-end pub, and it's called the Rusty Bucket. And he started that, and it has expanded throughout Columbus. I don't know if it's gone to other cities yet. But Cameron Mitchell gave him some of the recipes to take with him to open up his high-end pub, because it's not even a restaurant type that Cameron Mitchell owns. Like he has a seafood restaurant called the Ocean Club. He has Mitchell Steakhouse. He has a lot of like high-end restaurants, just not in that vein.
Yeah, delicious. I highly recommend.
So I got to ask you and we have Carolyn Prevost in the chat.
Good evening, Carolyn.
To know how she's done on this workout. And I don't know if she's willing to say or not. But anyway, what was your favorite part of the Arnold? And Carolyn asked the question, what's the craziest thing you saw at the Arnold?
Craziest, probably the fire hydrant clean and jerk. So what I enjoyed, because y'all know me, I'm a fitness lover. It was very strongman-esque in my point of view. And I wasn't really like excited about much of anything. I'd say the one thing I kind of enjoyed was the fittest firefighter. So that was more fitnessy, I would say, even though it was still like strongest. So it was really heavy stuff. They did like a sandbag to shoulder, iron cross. They held 2 axes out to the side. Deadlift with big ambulance tires on it. So it was like the huge like elephant bar with so they did that for reps. And then they took a fire hydrant and you had to like you just had to do shoulder override, but you had to get it up and it was super awkward. And it just was like nobody had done it. And I feel like it was a little too heavy. That like came down on one of the girls' heads. I don't know. It just was like a little cringy at times. So like I would say my favorite was that event in general. I just didn't love that last implement. It was like almost a little too much. I did see Sam Sulik. Yes.
So footage I saw that was crazy were the medieval fighting games,
Yep.
sword fighting in full knight's gear.
Yep.
I didn't to see Thor deadlift 1,006 was pretty impressive. As always, to see him back doing that, crazy.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a lot of like footage out about it this year. Very little media coverage, which I find very bizarre.
Yeah.
And maybe
So go ahead.
and maybe next year that's an approach we take where instead of getting a vendor pass with Mark, we actually get a media pass to be able to go do some coverage and show some more in-depth stuff with different, like focus on the firefighting fitness games,
Yeah.
right? And do that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But this year, for me, what I found is I kept trying to take walks this weekend to see if my body could hold up for the day. And it just like my lungs and heart are fine. It's my muscles are really sore from not being able to do much. And so I didn't go because I thought it was better to live another day.
I totally agree. It was chaos in there. Saturday was, I get a little stressed around like really large crowds. It is sensory overload in there. There was a couple times we tried to go down and I actually think it was when Sam Sulik came out. You like couldn't even walk down the center aisle. Like I was like, we got a jet. Like Ron and I both were like, let's go to the front. And so we like tried to cut down a different aisle and get out of the way and go all the way around. Yeah, it was just there were a couple of things that were really packed. But it's neat to go to. I don't know how many supplement companies, like they're all like the same thing. There's probably 50 booths of supplements, and you're like, I don't know what sets you apart.
Yeah, my first year I went there, I tried everything, and I probably could have hung from the ceiling at some point during the day. With as much workout as I took in. And then I learned like you just can't do that, right? Your body is not made to do that. So yeah, it's one of those things like I think everybody should do once just to see the spectacle that it is. And the focus they put on the bodybuilding and the strongmen, the big stage they get. And then there's some pretty big side stages for Olympic weightlifting. Usually.
Yep.
And that always fascinates me. And then just the odd sports that show up is really, really kind of fun to kind of see. But I'm glad you went, had a good time and enjoyed my city for a day.
Yep. There was foosball. There was like I've got a ton of little like clips that I'm gonna just make a big reel of sights and sounds of Clydesdale media at the Arnold, and so hopefully I can get that out sometime tomorrow. I've got a lot to put together, but I am exhausted from my traveling, so I'm probably gonna go to bed at night. But I don't know what the hype is around this Sam guy. He's just yoked. I don't know.
Carolyn says my students talk about the Sam Sulik guy. I have no idea what the hype is.
He just looks like a young dude on steroids to me. Not my kind of person to idolize. That's exactly what he looks like. Like it's that abnormal. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's like you see that and it's just like a little bit of body dysmorphia, right? Like you kind of like feel bad for these people.
Yeah. Kenneth says, I think just his daily videos people get addicted to.
I mean,
So I
the
don't really
most
follow that
people.
space. Like I've worked security for them for like years, and to see the condition that these bodybuilders are in the day of competition really freaks me out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They are completely dehydrated. They don't even have their full mental capacity. You're trying to get them to a stage. It is so it turned me off from the sport almost immediately. Seeing the behind the scenes stuff of this. The amount of spray tan that gets sprayed behind stage, like you slip in it when you're walking, it's so bad. But there are people that love it. And when 70,000 people show up at an event in Columbus to see it, like it just goes to show you, like it's bigger than CrossFit for sure.
It is. What was weird is like we didn't see Tia or Emma or Adler or any of them. We actually did see Justin Medeiros, and we saw him again today. But like Justin was just sitting there at the chili goat tubs, no one around. Like I don't think people even know who he is. Sam, Marston and Heaves were there with like Martins Lises and Juji Mufu and stuff, but like nobody knows who they are. Like it's weird. It's weird for like Ronica and I are like, "What's up, guys?" You know, kitty littering, and like nobody else knows what's going on.
Yeah. And Carolyn makes a great point. I just hate that a lot of my students, particularly the young boys, idolize the social media people and bodybuilders on steroids. They get sucked into that stuff too at such a young age. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it at dinner last night. Like, if you've never seen the documentary Bigger, Stronger, Faster, like it really dives into the addiction that steroids and the body dysmorphia can be. And it's done by one of the Bell brothers. I've brought it up on here a few times. I think it's Mark that does it, but I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and watch it again. But all three of the brothers are in it.
We did see Arnold. I wasn't like super close to him, but yeah, we saw him there.
Yeah, I was into Arnold when I was a kid too, and Stallone and all of that. Like, it's not just the sports world, it's entertainment too. So yeah. It may have been Mark Kenneth again. I can't remember. I can't remember which one of the brothers made the documentary. But it's about all three brothers, and I just can't remember which one actually did the documentary. So, that was the Arnold. The other thing, there's one other thing that we forgot to talk about on Thursday night that I wanted to bring up real quick, and that is that the Teen Pit Fitness Ranch for the games has a new location. And I don't know if you saw that. They're going to be in Kalamazoo for a big chunk of the games.
Yeah.
Just one day is going to be at the pit. And this is something you and I talked about, that you were afraid the pit would not accommodate the amount of people for the games and give a good spectator experience.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull up Stephanie's email to me just so I can show a picture of the arena. But yeah, I wanted, did you see the arena, or do you know of the arena?
What is it?
So it's in Kalamazoo. It is the Wings Arena in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And they
I
did a
don't know.
mock-up of what it will look like inside. And it is right here. So it just has one tier of seats, but really sweet looking. Jumbo
Yeah.
in the middle. The kids are going to feel like they are really at the games, right?
That looks like the Coliseum for sure.
Right. It looks like just a smaller version, which is probably perfect for them right now. It'll be loud in there. But you're a Michigander. How far is Kalamazoo from Three Rivers?
Oh, I don't think it's very far at all.
Okay.
Maybe 30 minutes, maybe. I don't even.
So that's perfect. And again, one day we'll be at the pit doing outdoor events. The rest of it will be here.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. That looks great.
So
very cool.
Hats off to Coach Yost and Stephanie for putting this together, getting an amazing arena, an amazing setup for the kids. Just really sucks it's the same weekend as the Masters.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll finish up all that stuff, and now we'll get into 24.1. And how do you want to talk about this? Because this series is your show. You did the workout on Friday and then came to Columbus Saturday, got back today and did it again. So you did it twice.
I did. Let's start with, because the show is supposed to be Hailey, myself, and Jim. Let's start with Friday night, because that's what we started with, so that Jim had us there with him. I always knew that I was going to be doing it Sunday for the team at Grand Trunk. And Hailey did too. But the three of us did this Friday, so that Jim had us there. And that's kind of the show anyway, is the three master, grandmaster. And
so first question is from Carolyn Prevost. Are you sore?
No, I am not sore. Well,
so let's talk about your first attempt.
Talk about what?
Your first attempt.
Okay.
You texted me immediately that you did not go hard enough.
Correct.
This is first attempt. And you said you paced it way too much.
Way overpaced. I don't know. I did the burp. You'll see. I did the burpee step. Yeah, just like step up and over. I put, kind of like was like, I'll just do the Adler thing and then pick up pace as it went on. Yeah, it was just overpaced, I'd say. Hailey, to clarify, and you guys see the other one, Hailey does much better in her reattempt. When we started, she was like, I'll just try to hang with you. And I, in my head, was like, I don't know if that's a great idea, but I was going to let her try. Like, I don't fully know all of her capacity yet. So, we started out together, and I think that was too fast of a pace for her.
I don't know what I just did there.
Checking the emails.
Let's fast forward. Here we go.
So we're back on our other arm. 21. Jim is still in his burpees. Jim is like typically, he's pretty world class in his age group for burpees. Maybe more so in like a bar facing burpee. I was very clear with like most of my members all evening with hand placement, and I don't feel like Jim fully listened to me as usual. And he was getting pretty close to his dumbbell, especially in the later round. So I'm like yelling at him at the end of this video to like put his hands further up so that he just kind of has to bring his feet up less hinging. I mean, is the goal here. Oh, you looking at Aaron's beard, Ken? And Jim has, some thoracic, some shoulder mobility issues. So like the dumbbell snatch, and I'm really hard on Jim with standards. Same with the burpee, same with the snatch. There's times I tell him slow down and make it look good rather than just, I don't like to see poor movement. And you're representing me in the gym and I want to see good movement. He likes to do the little skip thing and I don't like it. I'm like jump both feet. So I think that tired him out a little bit. If I would have let him do his typical gallop over, but he does great. I think it's a solid time for his age group. And I told him he's not redoing it. Well, I did ask him if he wanted to, and he said no. And I was like, that's great. Because he has absolutely no reason to redo it. I needed to redo it for the team because this is obviously at my gym and we're at the affiliate Grand Trunk. So we needed to go do it as a team at Grand Trunk. But Jim had absolutely no reason to repeat. See, he's doing such a.
Did you strategize before you started with the other two?
Today or in this one?
In this one.
No, we just. Jim was supposed to go at his own pace. In a way, I don't know if us going all together was good or bad. Like I said, I almost feel like it was not great for Hailey. But I think she learned a lot out of it. So I think that's great. And Jim, I think, did a good job of staying in his own lane.
Carolyn Prevost says, importance of good movement standard starts from the top down. I like that, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm big on movement standards, Carolyn. And I you can even see it. I think I over accentuate my lockout on the dumbbell. My dumbbell snatches are always slower than any elite. But it is what it is. I almost never get a no rep at a comp, so
before we go on, let's switch to the other video.
Okay.
Do you know what Jim's finish time was on this one?
I think Jim is like 10. You can scroll to the end if you want and see it.
I blew it up, so okay.
10:30 or 10:40, I don't. So he's starting his last burpees. And that was me. Yeah, I'm up there yelling at him. I was yelling at him and
did you call him Jim or Jimbo?
I think I called him Jim.
When you're upset with him, do you call him Jim or Jimbo?
Jim. Jimbo is when I'm like excited and like, let's go, Jimbo. Look how good of this finishing kick he did.
10:54.
Yeah.
67 years old, people. 67 years old. That is impressive.
It is impressive. Jimothy when he's
all right. So that was the first attempt. Then you went and you were on your feet all day yesterday.
Yeah, drove
back to the Arnold this morning.
Yeah.
And then you drove back to Michigan. Hopped right. Did you go home at all or straight to Grand Trunk?
No, it's on the way. Yeah. So it was like a 4-hour trip for me. We left at 5 a.m. I woke up at 4 on Saturday morning, drove to Columbus, went right into the convention, was there till 6:45, 7, then had dinner with you and then went to bed. It was so Grand Trunk is on the way back from Columbus. So that was like a 3-hour and 20-minute trip. Yeah, so we left at like 1 o'clock from the convention, got to Grand Trunk at 4:45 and warmed up. And I think we started around 5:30-ish. I would say if anything, so Carolyn, I don't feel like I'm sore from the workout at all. I feel like for one, I don't do well sitting in a car with my back, and just being on my legs all day at the Arnold. I think my legs are a little fatigued, but it is what it is.
So what was your first time?
7:10.
And were you happy with that? Or,
I mean,
and doing this to do it with your team? Or did you have visions of doing better this time around?
Oh, I absolutely felt like the way I finished that on Friday, and like I honestly was like, that was the easiest open workout for sure that I've ever done. Like, it was too easy. And I feel like I just didn't push hard enough. I don't feel like I redlined. I don't feel like I got like, well, like going and then watching, knowing how I felt and seeing my members, and then watching like Taylor Self go, and like I was like, oh yeah, I did not do that. I did not like, I didn't push that hard. So I absolutely felt like I could perform better.
Would you have redone it had you not been on a team?
No.
So you would have been content with your 7:10.
Yeah. I mean, I would have known I could go faster, but I would have just done normal training.
And I think it's safe to say Hailey was not content with her first score.
Correct.
So she was excited at the opportunity to redo.
Correct.
And we had her on just a week and a half ago talking about how when she finished the games, or the last time, she was done. So like she's ramping back up to be on a team.
Correct.
We have Mr. Kai Steve 9. I'm 67, finished 24.1 and 14:07. Been doing CrossFit for just over 2 years. Proud of my time. Yes, you should be.
You should be. That's fantastic for 2 years.
Yeah. I know people have been doing CrossFit longer than that who did not finish.
Absolutely.
So you should be immensely proud of that score. So Kenneth is asking, so to qualify for teams, is there a separate teams open? No, but they are affiliated with Grand Trunk, and they need to have video of them doing the workout at Grand Trunk with their team. So in this picture, you have Jamie right here. I can't see my cursor, but anyway, you have Azariah Price next to her to the right, and you have Hailey in the close far right, getting ready to do it as well.
And just to the right of Hailey in that window is Jeff. He was satisfied from his Friday night time, so he didn't want to redo it. He just wants to keep training through this. And I kind of was like, just do it. You can sandbag it next to us. Let's get all four of us. And we finished this workout and then did a whole team workout. And I'm actually going to put a reel together of that. So he did some training with us. He was there, but he was happy with his score.
Then the way it works is the combined scores from Grand Trunk go into a leaderboard. And if Grand Trunk makes it, then you select who the team members are going forward.
Correct. Yeah, anyone in an affiliate can sign up on the affiliate team, and the top 4 scores go in. And so you may notice that week to week, the top 4 scores aren't always the same people. And I think that's going to be wildly the case for this year's Open. Well, I guess we'll wait and see what next week's workout is, but I would assume something else is maybe going to be heavier, and some of these body weight ninjas probably won't be the top in their gym next week. So yeah, you can use different people. You just have to establish the 4 that are going to do quarterfinals.
All right, so I have started the video. I already see a quicker pace. From you. And I would say a smoother pace from Hailey right off the get-go. So what did going into this, what did you change in your mind? Did you use
I just
the pace? Did you just go by feel?
I went by feel. I had like a time at the end of the 21s and a time at the end of the 15s that I wanted to be at. But I just told myself I was just jumping. Like that's how I do burpees. The fact that I did the steps was I think almost mentally taxing on Friday because I'm like outside foot, and I'm like kind of just sitting there trying to like be conscious of what I'm doing. So I just was like, just do your normal burpees, just because I like to bring my both feet up and jump. That's just how I typically do burpees. So yeah, I just jumped the entire way through, and I was actually surprised how calm and like I still felt after the round and I was like 10 seconds ahead of the pace that I even wanted to be at the end of the 21s, and I was like, I still feel fine. I still feel like they both went out a little too hot, but I started with my right arm, and that's a weird question because we know like my left arm is the one that's torn. So I guess I would say I started with my strong arm. But if I'm being completely honest, I've since my shoulder surgery on my right arm, it just hasn't really ever felt awesome. And partially why I think I maybe tore the left one is because I use it so much more. So I almost would say my left one is my strong one. But I'd say they're pretty equal, so that didn't matter. The dumbbell was not it's not the workout. I mean, I guess it could be for some people, but it's a burpee workout, and I think it's a burpee workout for most people. It's a stamina thing.
It would by far be a burpee workout for me.
Yeah. So yeah, we just jumped them all, and I just was like, just get more uncomfortable. Like that's what I wanted to use this for, was like just get uncomfortable because you haven't been doing that.
And isn't that kind of one of the reasons you decided to go team, was to have more opportunities to put yourself in an uncomfortable position?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think for me, I've never had this opportunity, and I've always wanted to. Like, I wish somebody would have ever wanted me on a team. I think that I will die for somebody. Like, if you are putting your trust in me, I will do everything I can for you. If it's just me, I mean, like, I don't want to let any of you down, but like, there's still, it's just me. Like,
Yeah, you put a lot of pressure on yourself to please people. We talked about
yes,
that during the documentary I did with you, that you didn't want to let all the people rooting for you down during that
yeah,
documentary. And I find that, one, I completely understand it. And on the other side, I think it's completely insane to think that way. But I have done the exact same thing, where I've said on this show a ton, before my back injury, I did the team series, and it's the only time I've ever thrown up in CrossFit. And I've done
yeah,
it. And during the team series, I threw up like 6 times. Like, because I pushed myself so much harder to make sure I'm not the one letting the team down,
right.
that I end up running out the back door and heaving my guts all over the back parking lot.
Love it.
And it is, the first year I did team, I went a safe team, like one that it was not going to be hard for me not to be the last person. The second year I did team, I went with some of the best people in my gym, and I really put the pressure on myself to be uncomfortable. And then when you're uncomfortable, then you push to those levels you've never pushed to before. So
Right.
I do love the fact that you're doing this, because I think the same thing on a bigger scale is happening for you right now.
Yeah.
Professor Chaos, Jamie can be on my team any day.
Well, thank you.
Well, watching this video, I'd be fine with you on my team, but those 6 abs, they need to go somewhere else because that's intimidating.
No, it's not intimidating.
No,
Yeah,
that's
Veronica says I'm training to pull her out of a fire all the time.
and that's why you watch the Fittest Firefighter at the Arnold.
Correct. When I'm picking up the 150-pound sandbag, I'm telling myself I'm picking up Veronica or my son or Aaron. Aaron's not 150 though. I need to get stronger.
All right. So we're at the 610 mark here. Trying to get it. So there we go. Clock and everybody. So you 710 first attempt.
Yep.
Is this your last set of 9?
Yeah.
And then you turn on the jets, as we see here. Damn.
Yeah, I still feel like I didn't go hard enough, if I'm being completely honest. I think I talked around here when I finish.
So 650-ish.
Yep, 650.
So 20 seconds off your time.
Yeah.
And happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I just don't know what I'm missing. I don't know. Like, there's what ifs. If I wouldn't have been in the car for almost 8 hours, if I wouldn't have been on my feet, like, could I, like, but I don't feel like I was cardio-y, like, fatigued like as much as I should have been. But that's okay.
When
I'm
was
happy
the
with
last
it for
time
sure.
you went to the dark space?
Probably quarters and semifinals.
Both?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure I was sick in semis, so I was just there like immediately anyway. Like it just was immediately redlined uncomfortable when I would start a workout.
Your last year in quarters, the shuttle rope climb, I'd say
Yeah.
you went there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was evident when you were done. You do not look like that today.
I know. I still felt I was like, I still don't think I. And then we lifted after this and did a workout as a team, and I said to them, I was like, I feel like this workout we just did as a team was harder than that. Which actually a couple of them they agreed, sort of.
So also huge shout out to Hailey. She took a minute 20 off of her time from Friday to Sunday, which was huge. And those are things your team needs to make sure that you can make it on to the next step.
Right. Yeah. And I think Ezra, I had done it on Saturday and got like, I don't know, 11 maybe. And I think he's finishing his 9 here. So he had quite an improvement too.
So is he more of a power output guy?
So I'm trying to figure that out too. His gymnastics are like incredible. His handstand walking and ring muscle ups are great. I need to do more toe to bar with him. And we haven't done any pull-ups together. But it amazes me, his handstand walking and his ring muscle ups. I just think he's just not a burpee guy. But he is super strong. Holy cow. Like I said, we did a lifting complex and hang squat cleaned like 315 or something. And we did a clean and jerk complex thing. So yeah, super strong.
What's wild is I interviewed him when he was 18, 17, the year that he was 1 place out of the games. And people dropped out and they wouldn't give him the spot.
Frustrating.
But I never knew what kind of athlete he was. I just knew he was really good as a teen athlete. And of course, his mom is the one that runs our teen podcast. So the Prodigies. So yeah, I've known him for a long time. I just didn't really know I've never seen him compete live.
I mean, I think with the proper like training, I think he's going to be an extremely well-rounded athlete. He's got a ton going on. He's getting married, he's schooling, and like he's a busy kid. Like this was a very last minute for him to agree to do this with us. Not his priority. I still think he's extremely fit for everything going on in his life. And he definitely has potential if he buckles down, which he has plans to. Like, I think him and his fiance will go team eventually and they'll buckle down.
Gotcha. So that was 24.1. Happy with your team?
I am happy with my team. I'm excited to see what, like I told them, I was like, this one was my wheelhouse and I'm sure the rest will be your guys' wheelhouse. So there's my score for this week. You guys hold up the team next week.
I highly doubt that. I think that you have a lot of wheelhouses and part of those will be hit, especially through the open. What do you think? What is your prediction for 24-2?
Man, I don't even know I honestly don't know. Like something on the rig, pull-ups or toe to the bar. I think we'll see a barbell this week.
Double unders
Yeah,
for
I
sure
could see double.
on cap.
It just would be surprising this was so already bouncy. I mean that then going into double unders too. I mean, I won't be mad about it, but
I think
I could see
week 2 is going to be the longer chipperish, and they haven't done in a while that format where you have to earn your next allotment of time.
Yeah. And I don't know if we'll see that in the open because I think that's going to be largely what the quarterfinals are made up of.
I don't know. I think it's coming. I think it's coming because everybody can do it. You can make it harder as you move on to earn your time. And
yeah, but that's what they said the quarterfinals was going to be. Like,
yeah,
everyone.
The open can't be that way too.
Craig, I don't think there's going to be wall walks. I really think they're going to stick to the no tape. And I don't think there's going to be wall walks.
Yeah, I think wall balls is a good one. We didn't do wall balls last year, did we? Yes.
No.
Oh
yeah, it was in 0.1. There was 40 of them.
Yeah. You know what? Gosh, the 55s would be a good one to bring back.
Yeah, I like that workout. We really gonna do a workout 3 times? We need to see that.
It's just repeatable. It's something that you can see if you've gotten better, and it doesn't get any easier, like the year after year.
Yeah, but that one's got handstand push-ups.
Yeah, it does finish with that, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I could see wall balls. I could see jump ropes.
This is my opinion of the open this year. That you could see that kind of stuff, like a handstand put. You're not going to see a wall walk. You're not going to see shuttle runs or anything like that with tape. But you could see a handstand push up, and they just say, "Listen, we know people are going to go wide. We know people are going to do all the things, but it's 25%, and it'll be what it'll be."
Possibly.
Carolyn thinks double unders, wall ball, and about barbell.
What do you think, Carolyn? Do you think it'd be like a deadlift with that? Because I feel like if you You don't want to throw thrusters in with a wall ball. You don't want to. I suppose you could snatch light snatches, but we just snatched. I almost feel like it would need to be deadlift. Yeah, Ron's got a point there. It could be like a front rack, reverse step lunge in place.
I think that advances the movement to a point where just someone coming off the street is not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think that eliminates overhead squat. I think you're talking deadlifts, basic movements off the street. Anybody can grab a bar and pull it off the floor. If it's lunges, I think it's just body weight lunges in place, or a dumbbell, holding a dumbbell like a goblet, or hold anyway, or one of those kind of things, and lunge in place.
Hold your wall ball.
Could do that too. But I think the advanced barbell movements are out for what they said. See, I think quarterfinals are everybody's going to be able to start that makes it that far, but they may not finish. The open was we can pull you off the street and you can pretty much do it coming off the street. You're not going to be able to snatch, not going to be able to overhead squat. Clean and jerk's even iffy. Maybe a clean deadlift.
Yeah.
So, and I still like 14-3. Like, I love that workout with deadlifts and bucks. Get on the box however you can.
Agree.
But as simple as this workout was, it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch everybody's attempts at it, and see. I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't hate to say it, but Savon hit gold with that Taylor Dallin.
Oh yeah,
because that was epic. It was so freaking close, and Taylor beating the record at that moment. Wow. And then to see the after effects of that, what he had to give, like, showed you.
Yeah, kudos to him, man.
So I really liked how the matchup turned out, and you got to see what happened to Taylor after by going that hard.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to stand, or you think Colton or somebody's going to beat it?
I doubt it'll stand, but I'm betting it's top 5.
I think so too. Probably even top 3.
Yeah. I was going to say 3 and then decide to go safe for 5. But it's just that people know his score now, and they know like what paces they have to hit.
I agree. I think if it had been private, I think he might have gotten the world record. And like Tetlow already went, and we know that he didn't beat it. So it's whether Colton wants to hurt bad enough. And I'm trying to think if there's really anyone else that.
Yeah, looking at Rolfe's score, Tetlow's score does not give me more confidence in Colton beating it.
I know.
But Colton can go dark too. So
that's what's going to take.
It'll just really be interesting to see how that goes down. But yeah, it's definitely going to hold up for a pretty damn good score.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And they did an awesome job with that. It was so easy to watch. And I really did like the fact that what the open announcement lacked with talking to all the athletes after, you got in this, and you got to see the after effects.
Mm-hmm. Frag, I was wearing my Born Primitive Savage ones as well.
You like them?
I do like them. Yeah. Yep. I wore those at at both MFC and Legends. I've had them since, I don't know, September or whenever. I mean, I pre-ordered them like when they first even released them, and then they didn't even come out for like, I mean, I think I paid for them in like May, and then they came when they finally released in like September. And I've been wearing them since. I still wear the Fronings are my favorite shoe. I get crap for wearing them because they're just totally wrecked. That's probably still my favorite shoe, other than the Nano 2s I like. The tongue is just a little wonky in those. So that's where I think Born Primitive nailed it.
Kenneth is asking how we're doing in Heat 1. I did not pick Taylor, and I think that's my only miss at this point.
Dang.
But it was a big miss because everybody got 130 points to my none, and that has put me in like 365th place or something.
Dang.
So
I have 375 points, which seems to be the same score as everyone. How many points do you have?
245.
Oh.
Which is the 130 from Taylor. That's the one I missed.
Oh, I see. Yeah, how are they sorting this? Because like it says I'm in 131st, but I have the exact same score as 375 points, same as everyone else.
I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know how they're going to handle the ties. But the Open's very long. Like the brackets aren't even factored in yet because that is not done until after tomorrow night. So we'll know more after that.
Ken, do you tape your laces down? Jamie Taylor talked about that, and I found it interesting. On the BPs, I will say their laces, I kind of need to double knot them depending on what I'm doing. I don't tape them down. That's an interesting take. I could try that. If I double knot them though, I'm fine.
I had that problem with the Nike Metcons.
They're just like a round lace, so they're not like a flat lace, right? So they don't like. I feel like when you tighten them, they don't like tighten tight because they're that round, thick lace.
Yeah.
But you double knot them and they're fine. I haven't had an issue of coming untied.
So I've always been a Reebok guy. Like I would say 90% of my shoes are Reebok, but I love the look of the Rads, and I have been wanting to pull the trigger. I just haven't.
I'll be curious if you get them, what you think. I don't love the look of them. They look too narrow for me. I've got extremely wide feet, so I have to. That's why I like the Nano 2s. That's why I like those Fronings. Like, there's no laces to those Fronings. It's kind of like putting on a sock. So yeah.
So I love the Nano 4 was one of my favorite, probably. And then the 9s. I was a big fan of the 9s.
I was a big,
and I have probably 5 pairs of 9s. When they went on sale, I just bought them and put them in my closet. So yeah, my need for them is not great. So justifying the purchase is tough. But I have a long foot, and the Rads make your feet not look so long.
Okay.
I have a size 13. So it's just trying to get my foot to look smaller.
Yeah.
And
get
they
them and try them.
Mid-era Jordans to me.
Yeah. I've never been a Nike shoe fan ever in my life, so
that's all I wore in high school.
No, I did not.
So back when I could still run. And my running shoes have always been Nike.
Oh,
So,
really?
So when and if you look at my first ever open workout, I actually wore Nike free running shoes during
my
the open
gosh.
workout. I didn't
Oh my
even
gosh.
have CrossFit shoes at the time. And then I finally
Nice.
got some and it felt like stable when I was lifting.
Yeah.
And then we had a workout one time that was run and lift. And I put my freeze on to run, came in to do a lift, felt like I was on like sponges. Thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
But yeah. But that whole first year, the open Nike freeze, those were my shoes. Then
That's funny.
if you saw a video of like the next year, then I've got like the knee sleeves, the Rich Froning headband, Reebok Nanos. Like I went from no gear to all gear. Rock tape everywhere. Yeah.
That's how it goes. You just get sucked into all the gear.
Yeah.
Are you even a CrossFitter if you don't have every piece of equipment?
I know. Crazy. Yeah, I used to rock tape my knees for every run workout, every box jump workout. And my knees weren't even that bad. So, but anyway, so we've been an hour. You've been on the road. We need to let you go. Congratulations on 24.1. Great improvement today. I'm glad that you were able to do that. Can't wait to see next week.
Yeah. I'll run the clip and we can upload the Versus of the Ages episode 3 of Jim, Hailey, and I, just so it's up there so people can watch Jim's whole workout or whoever's, and we'll put it out there. It just won't have the talking this week. It'll just be the video.
Okay. Yeah. Everything's cool. We got most of it on this one. We got all of your second attempt on this one. And this one is labeled as episode 3 of Versus.
Oh, yeah.
On the thumbnail. So just so you know.
Okay.
But with that, we'll be back Thursday night after the announcement of 24.2. I'll invite Carolyn back on to give her input, and maybe someday she'll tell us how she did in 24.1.
Yeah, Carolyn.
I'm excited. I think I'm looking for that top 5 finish. With that, we will catch everybody next time on Thursday Night CrossFit Talk or Versus Through the Ages. All of that stuff. See you guys next time. Bye.